Yo, what's up? This is Church, and welcome to Student of the Game. This is a little series that we do here at Tekaranga where we talk to creatives and try to get their insight, try to learn some things, and yeah, I guess just have a good conversation. Today we're joined by none other than Poetik, prolific voice in our community, award-winning artist, and overall good person. Yo.
Hey, what's
welcome.
up, cousin?
Welcome.
What's up, All right.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I just wanted to first kick off by talking about a little bit about 685, because there's a whole movement there that, in my eyes, you've really pioneered, just in terms of Samoan pride and kind of taking that into the music and to everything that you're doing. And I'm just interested to know how you've been able to kind of blend the cultural aspects of your life and how you grew up into this music industry. Was it ever a conscious decision, or how did that come about?
Man, that whole thing was like learning as we go,
Mm-hmm.
trying to create a brand. I think we were like 14. Well, I was 14. And I was the youngest in the crew in Samoa, and what we wanted to do was create a brand that I guess you could say Pacific Islanders can say, oh yeah, that's ours.
Mm-hmm.
So when it started, it wasn't necessarily being like a Samoan thing, it was like an Islander thing. People
Mm-hmm.
that grew up in the village, the culture, the way we carry ourselves in the village is, can be different to overseas. Sometimes you go overseas and things are a bit different, but we wanted to have that through the music we were creating at the time, to put our stamp on hip hop and go, hey, this is this chapter over here.
Yeah.
So from New York to the West Coast, then in the islands.
Yeah.
And along the way, we just learned what to do and what not to do, and how things, evolve. And it was a long, it's been a long journey to get to where we are today. Yeah, 685 and all the islands, all the area codes, it took off in a real way. I feel like coming to New Zealand was cool, because then we came to learn how we get down as people over here in Australia.
Right.
Not just
right.
the States and the islands. So it's the same everywhere we go, huh? Everything that we go through as people within the culture, not just islanders, but
Yeah.
all indigenous ones
Yeah.
in the culture. So I guess everyone can understand what it stands for.
Uh-huh.
So it's not just the area code to us. To us, it's the code of conduct within the area that we live in.
100%.
And did that answer your question?
Yeah, 100%.
My bad.
Yeah. Well, even like with For the Ville and everything that you're doing, there is that whole community to it, and the acceptance of a lot of people. And it's cool to hear about, just talking about how you're raised and how those things kind of naturally occur. One thing that you're known throughout the community and doing is like always being outside, whether it's like the markets, or sometimes you pull up at people's houses and you're doing all of these merchandising and things like that. Where did that kind of hustle or where did that ambition start from?
Came from just growing up with a family and an environment where everyone hustles.
Mm-hmm.
In the islands, when I was a kid, you wake up at 4 a.m. and you put the banana on the back of the pickup, and you go into town to sell that.
Mm.
And you sell them at like 5 a.m. You're setting up, and you're selling that throughout the day, and that's how you eat. Go to Hawaii, we're selling our handicrafts at the swap meet. That's how we eat. So came over here. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do at the time. You got to get these permits to become a builder and all this and that. Mm-hmm. So I just started hustling, find a product and sell it. And our product is music.
Yeah.
So music sells the clothing, music sells the tickets to the shows, music
Right.
sells the music.
Right.
And I try to learn and understand, as someone who doesn't know business or didn't grow up with like the education at the time.
Yeah.
How it works, how touring works, how music works, how getting a brand out there. And when we started, no one really, gave us the, hey, yeah, come here and jump in here and we'll help you. Everyone was like, you a fob, man, get out of here.
Yeah.
Just the vibe that we got, or you weren't good enough for radio and all that, which at the time was very true.
Yeah.
We come over to the radio. Can you play our 7-minute song? So yeah, that was a no. But just learning the game and not stopping to learn. So we had to make money to eat. So we just did what we did. This new app called whatever it was at the time, new to me, put us at everyone's front door. We put it up there. Hey, I'm driving through the South Side tonight. If you're out south, message me your address. I'll come to your house and sell you some merch out the trunk. And it worked. People were supportive. And that's what built everything that we stand on now, was the people.
Was there ever a moment of fear of judgment or just, yeah, like did you ever feel nervous to do this stuff? Because you're putting yourself on, I guess, like you're really putting yourself out there, and that, I feel like that takes a lot of confidence. How do you reach that point, like within yourself?
I didn't have fear. I think what I had was awareness. So the only thing with me is, because of the background we come from, and we're literally going anywhere and everywhere, it's just the gangs that I'm thinking of. What if I go to this house and open the door and they, you know, that's the reality from where we come from. But I was like, look, put my life in God's hands. I put the word out, what I stand for, which is for all people. I don't care what neighborhood, what background you're from. We're all in this together. So from here on, this is the stand I'm taking. The agenda is always the same, unity. So I feel like if I'm gonna stand behind social media or behind television, or whatever arena we're in, and say it from there and not go out to where it's really at, then I'm not 100%. And we've always been outside anyway, so we were very blessed that, you know, the streets and the gangs was always, they gave us a pass to come through as we were, you know. Sometimes people come through and they have an issue with us over politics, which I won't get into, but it's always been a blessing.
Right.
In the end, it was always love, so we carry that wherever we go. Every country we're at, we always go to the hood, we always show respect where we're at.
Right.
And that's how we stand, yeah.
I think the name Poetik and the brand, it has a lot of strength and it has a lot of weight. And for me, when I see you use your platform as it's actually a platform, and I'm curious to know, like, when did you start seeing your voice? Were there any examples where you actually recognized the kind of platform and the kind of weight that you were holding within the community?
I don't think I can look at it that way. I don't think I have, or have taken the time to. I think we're grateful for how things are, and we just keep moving. That's the way it's always been. Yeah, to be honest.
What about like a fan base, like for the music? When did you realize that people were listening or had their ear to the ground to see what you guys were doing?
As soon as we started selling merch.
Right.
The first merchandise we ever had was from Devolo. Devolo had a gig for me and he said, hey, look, it's a last minute gig, jump on and give me a print and I'll print X amount of shirts for you. And I was like, okay. And Bass had been telling me for a long time to start doing t-shirts and printing and stuff, but I never wanted to put Poetik on the shirt. Kind of felt weird to me.
Right.
But we did it when Bolo had the shirts. He was like, hey man, I need a design, where's the design? And all I had was a Poetik logo, and so I sent him that, printed it. We advertised it on our social media platforms. I think it was Instagram and Facebook. It sold out in a day. And that's when I was like, oh, yo, okay.
Right.
Then been selling ever since. Yeah. And still trying to learn the craft of it, because it's a business within itself. Merchandising, and it can be challenging, more ways than one. And it's not like we go to school to learn. Everything was in the streets, you know, learning as we sold it, learning as we met plugs, and yeah. Still grinding though, bro.
100%. At some point, you've been able to get involved in like the music industry and also been recognized from the music industry. In your career as a musician, what have been some like key learnings for you?
stick to the script is an important one. I feel like as artists, sometimes we can fall off the script and feel like, oh, no, I want to do it this way. Or I want to try to do this, and if we do this, this, and that. But if you got a plan with your team, just stick to it and soldier it. Even when it gets hard, and because sometimes, man, something might happen on the week of your tour, and then, you know, the show ain't doing too good that you thought it was going to do, or whatever the situation may be, you still got to go to that show. And if it's 2 people at that show, you got to rip that stage. So one thing I learned was to just soldier it out. And when you soldier it out and you finish that one, then what's the next one? What's the next plan? What's the next play? What's the next 6 months look like? That's important to me because I feel like in my surroundings, a lot of people just stop, fall off along the way. And we're in an environment now where it's all like these mental health conversations, which is new to me. But going through that, it might slow you down. So trying to find balance within that, like that's where I'm at now. I'm trying to find balance within it all. Like, okay, how do you get better while not taking a day off from work?
Right.
You know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm curious to know like what your answer is for that currently.
Stop drinking.
Right.
Which I haven't done. Yeah, but yeah. I think if you put the same effort in, you're gonna get the same result. And if you want something different in life, you gotta figure out what's gotta change. And you gotta be man enough or woman enough to accept that it might have to be you that changes. So I know that the biggest change that needs to occur within what we're doing is I gotta change how I carry myself and operate. You know, when you start and you're a bit rough and rugged around the edges and stuff, and then you got people like 15-year-old kids looking up to you through social media and looking at your music, and you're like, yo, whatever I do that this person sees, they might emulate. So do I want them to drink 2 bottles of Hennessy every day? Or do I want them to get out there and hustle?
Yeah.
So I tried to stop posting, you know, you're so real online and you just want everyone to see what you're doing. This is me, accept me as I am. I tried to stop putting up the negative stuff like drinking and going through the demons and all that, and try to show them the hustle. Like, look, this is what we're doing. All these doors are closed right now, but we're gonna keep moving over here to open this. Because, you know, funding is not available, radio's not available, television, all that stuff, festivals, they don't want us because we're here. So let's hustle so we can get up here, then these doors are open. And they all opened. So I'm like, okay, I wish I knew this when I was 16, you know?
Yeah.
That game, if it came sooner, we'd be a lot further along the way.
It's cool to hear you talk about the kind of team that's around you and the merits of having a team. How did you know who was supposed to be on your team? Like, how did that kind of decision-making process happen for you? Was it a natural thing, or was it, how?
Yeah, it's all natural, bro. It's all brothers and sisters from the hood and family. So, Bass and I, we've been together since the first day. And yeah, everyone else that we met along the way has only helped us. You know, we've had a lot of help along the way. A lot of good people came through and opened up the door. And whether they stayed for 5 minutes or 5 years, you know, it all shows. So, might have to write a book later in life and have a list of thank yous for everyone.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people to thank. Yeah, we came up in like a village mentality. And also, it's like a village around the world took care of us. Come to New Zealand, there's a bunch of people here that looked out for us. Same in Australia, back to the islands, so we've been blessed.
You were talking a bit about kind of like the sacrifices that it's taken. I feel like what a lot of people don't understand is there's a lot of sacrifice involved in being in the music industry, and a lot of unknown costs or certain things that you have to do. If you could tell yourself when you started one of those things, or one of those things to look out for, or even for the young artists that'll be watching this, like what are some things that you wish you would been privy to?
Money, man. Money is like, you should take a class on money, bro. in so many ways. Maybe it's a cultural thing for some islanders. We don't tap into it in the same way. And then maybe we get too far into it. But the money was messy for me. And I never was the type to keep receipts. Keep your receipts.
Right.
Everything that you spend on the career, because, you know, one day you might wake up and you spent $800,000.
Right.
And it's like, oh, okay. And if you come from an environment where you've never seen 800,000 in your life, you're gonna want to, you know, be on point with it. So, yeah, learn to be more tight with money, more responsible. That's the main thing for me. Money, everything else, you know, take it as a grain of salt, the negative stuff, and keep pushing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. Because there are real costs, and I know, you know, us as creatives, we have a lot of ambition, and money isn't necessarily the most important thing that we think about. We're just trying to create, so we'll do it.
Yeah.
However, like I feel like a lot of times I'm like that. Like, oh, okay, it's $500. Oh, let's just do it. Like, let's do it now because I want to have this thing be tangible.
Yeah, I never cared about the money. If the thing was like 10 grand or 1,000 or 500, I'm like, yeah, man, run it. Do we have it?
Yeah.
Do we have it? Do we need to go out and get some to fall love it? Spend it, man. It's music. So music was always the top priority, and it's first.
Right.
Everything else came after. So what I learned was not everyone that I was working with along the way felt that way. So people wanted to be compensated. People wanted to be, you know, I felt like, damn, if we were clear on the money before, then relationships might have been a bit more stronger.
Right.
Because some relationships I've been in have suffered because of money.
And the transactions of it all.
Yeah. And then you got to go back into the text messages and find, remember I paid this, I sent this, you paid that, whatever. The bro said it cost this much. And when you go into anything to do with money, and you're like a spiritual, creative kind of person, it'll tax you. And that's when you're like, bro, why are we even having this conversation, man? Like, thought you was the homie. So I learned, you know, cover your ass on that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
On the creative side, even for the last 10 years, you've been consistently working project after project. How do you stay in that kind of zone of inspiration and continually get fueled?
I think I'm always just wanting to create. It's like a drug, man. It's just, you feel good when you make a song that you're like, yo, I like this. Doesn't matter if anyone else likes it, I like it, so cool. Tick on the list, and all right, that's in the thing. What's the next one? Bring the next one up. When we got enough, then we'll figure out, is it an EP, album, singles? And when you got a good team you work with, like you got, you know, my brother's my engineer, so, and producer, and then love to collab. So when you got a cool environment, you love it, you know? The question on getting better though, that's where I'm trying to get. So I was like, all right, cool, we can stay here and do this, but how do we get here? So that's like the next phase of, all right, we got to elevate there, and there's a lot of things we got to do down here to be prepared for that. Yeah, when we started, we weren't ready for how do you say it, like just the success and how quick it can go. Because it felt like overnight we were on tour and we had to say goodbye to you know, our families and hit the road for 30 days. Never knew that before.
And that's a huge sacrifice.
Couldn't even get a show before.
Yeah.
My fee before was, can I get 10 beers?
Right.
And a pack of smokes? And they were like, oh, we'll give you 5 beers. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So, yeah, man. It's trippy, bro. The whole process of it, it's a trip, man. And I guess a lot of people have different stories. They come from different spots and they go through it differently. The internet changes the game. By the time we started, the internet was out, so it was like, oh, yo, it's not like how our parents did it back then. You know, like our fathers with the music when they was coming up. I said, oh, yo, it's on the phone now. So how do you use this? So, yeah.
That's something I'd love to get into is social media. I feel like you've leveraged social media to such a degree where, like, you can go on a tour. Like, you can put stories out and people will go follow the links in your bio, or if you say that you're going to be at this market, they'll pull up because they saw it all on social media. How is your relationship with all of that? Because you have to be, from my perspective, you have to be so forthcoming and a lot of your brand is so real, like it's so rooted in the real world. But then social media is its own thing. Like, what's your relationship like with it at the moment?
I want people to see me on social media, those that do, and then see us in the real world and go, we're the same everywhere we go. So the same level of respect we give people, the same character, the same everything. Everything that you see with us on social media, that's us in real life. And I don't want people to think that we put on, you know, like you put on a hat for this room and then go to this room. Like, we're just the same everywhere we go and we're comfortable. And that's what we've been pushing. Like, it took so long to just be comfortable being you for some of us. You know, I know for me, I come from, you know, a bit of darkness that wasn't sure about certain things, but right when we started music, it's like, look, this is us and let's just be us. And there's this thing called social media. All right, we're gonna figure out how to use this. The homies taught us how to use it. Let's just be us on there. And I feel like most people who know us know that we're the same in every room.
Right.
So just keeping it real. That's it. Always keep it real.
Yeah.
Don't gotta fake the funk. Don't gotta, you know, you're beautiful however you are. That's the way we see it. That's what we use social media as. We're always here. You can find us here. Yeah, sometimes we might play tricks on people and act like we're in America, but really we're in Otar. We just put an old video up. Yeah, man, we're out here. Just to throw people off so we can disappear for a day. But, nah.
I feel like a lot of connection must be built online as well, like between the people that are listening to your music or just even discovering you. What's it like handling those relationships that are different to maybe the interactions that you're having in Marcus, and how do you deal with that? Is it something that you have a lot of capacity for?
I try to. I did in the beginning, but as the numbers grow, you kind of get lost in the matrix. And the busier you get, the less time you have to sit there on your phone and you know, go through everything. But I met some good people through social media, man. You know, like different countries, fly out there and meet them face to face, and they're genuine people, man. Like real solid people that showed a lot of love. There's the side where, you know, if I put up a story and say, look, this is some darkness I went through as a kid, I wrote a song about it, it's released on this date, bang. And then you got like 100 messages from people saying, man, the same thing happened to me, or I saw that growing up. That's a bit heavy, man. Like, write a song about suicide, they start telling you about it. I had people come up to me, tell me about family members that have committed suicide, that love the music, and like this one time I just broke down and started crying, bro. Like, with the people that was telling me, I didn't know how to deal with it. Gets heavy. Yeah. But still grateful that, you know, people would reach out and have you as a small part of their, you know, their journey. So, yeah. Then you got some people that, you know, text those angry texts, man. A lot of angry people on social media, man. I don't know why.
How do you even deal with that? Because I guess that's another side of it, is like trolls or people that can misconstrue your message and the things that you stand for. Is it? How do you not pay attention to that? You know.
I think I see most of everything. I miss a lot, but I think I see most of everything, especially when people tag you 18 times on the same negative post. With real people who have an issue with me on social media, I would respond respectfully, and if it's coming back as like from a hater point of view, then I just leave it and God bless him. If it's a disagreement with somebody over something, and I got the time, I say, look, meet up in the real world and let's have a conversation, because I don't know you through social media, and I'm in the same city. Let's have a coffee, let's talk about it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it makes it worse, but just the respect you have for your fellow human beings. Should always be respectful to people. So yeah, all that hate stuff though, I don't really. It doesn't faze, because whatever they're saying keeps your name in the air anyway. So.
100%. You gotta be doing something right.
If they said something bad about Poetik and then someone clicks on the Poetik and, oh wait, he's got this and that, well, while I'm here, Be surprised they might buy a t-shirt. So.
Right.
Thank you, haters. Love you. Keep up the good work.
Did you ever try to define your success when you started this music thing, or like did you know what the goalpost was, or how has that potentially changed for you as your career started?
Award winning in America has always been the thought that we had, because that's where the family's from, that we grew up with, where we grew up in the culture. So coming this route, Aotearoa and Australia, so okay, cool, let's do that over here, and then try to hit the States. So that's always been it. So I've always felt like we ain't even close yet.
Yeah.
So we got to keep mashing and make no excuses. And that's where the sacrifice comes in. So there'd been days, man, where I should have taken the day off, but I didn't. You know, I watched my mom that raised me die and then go straight to the video shoot and handled it. You know, my baby mom's is about to give birth, but I got a show to do in an hour, so I'll see you later. Stuff like that I think most people would not miss. I missed because I didn't want to fail as a musician, because everything that we're doing is for them anyway. That's what I've always told myself, like, man, if you come from nothing and you got nothing to start, you got to sacrifice everything to get that for your family. So the sacrifice has been that, missing birthdays, missing Christmas. Last year we missed Christmas with our families just to go tour. But this Christmas, it's going to be a beautiful Christmas because of it.
Right.
So the sacrifices, it ain't just 18-hour days.
Yeah.
It's the beautiful moments that you're going to miss for 4 or 5 years. But if we live to be 50, 60, bro, it's going to be sicky all the way now because of this time that we're putting in now.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Foundational.
Yeah, bro, you buy a few properties and then your kids are set.
Right.
You know? Got money in the bank, so by the time they turn 21, they got 100 grand.
So it's always been planning for the future and like future-proofing and...
Yeah, bro. Yeah. There's goals that we have that we don't know how to get to yet, but I know once we go through the doors that are open there in December this year, it's going to lead us to those rooms. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we got the next 20 years in mind. And it's just setting goals. I learned that you set goals. 1-year goal, 2-year goal, and the 5-year goal is the big one. And if you knock those out, you're going to be up the ladder even more, and then you're going to have a new set of goals.
Yeah.
So that's how we operate.
I guess lastly is, what does the future look like for you?
Filled with blessings, brother. Filled with blessings. Take everything as it goes. Grateful for every day. Thankful for every opportunity. And just keep mashing, bro. That's all I can say for, you know, I think I said it a few times tonight.
Yeah.
That's the mentality now, because we really live in it, bro. Like, we in the moment right now. Let's keep mashing and keep pushing forward. We ain't where we want to be yet. You know, I want to see, like, our grandkids eating off what we've done. You know?
100%.
And not a free ride either. Grandkids, if you're watching this, you better get your ass a fucking job. Get to work. Sorry, can we curse on this?
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. Say whatever you want.
But it'll be cool to just have, you know, a little starter kit. Can you imagine if you jumped in this game with 250 grand? With your business mindset now, bro?
I imagine all the time.
Bro.
I imagine all the time.
Like, that's cool. It's a lot cooler than just, you know, $10. So
Yeah.
if we can start that for the kids and the grandkids, and whatever we're building now, it might go from this to film company or whatever, which I feel like we should do. You know, the next generation can inherit that and carry it on and make it bigger and better. So I look at land like it's an important thing for our people, because without land, you can't connect to who you really are and your ancestors. That's part of who we are. Land, the name, the language, all those things all come together. But I also feel like in this day and age now, we're seeing that it'd be nice to have a bank account to connect to. Instead of paying $1,000 a week for a 3-bedroom down the road here. And that same house was 80 grand for sale before we were born. So trying to make it better in more ways than one for the next. Keep mashing. Yeah.
Keep mashing. All right. Beautiful. Thank you, Poetik. cousin. Appreciate you.
It's really my cousin though, on my mom's side, bro, for real.